not scoring touchdowns.
I mean, is there something specific that the guys aren't doing? Or is there...
Well, I think there's probably a couple things. One, I think I've been a little conservative in the red zone, trying to make sure that we get points. Where, when you have a fifth-year senior quarterback last year, you just go attack. So I think that's certainly a part of it. I also think there's some opportunities that we had that we didn't come up with. And I think we're going to look at a few things, whether or not we need to have a lead back down there and do some things to give our guys a better chance when the box is outnumbered.
Mac talked about opening it up. What does that mean to you?
Opening it up in the red zone?
Well, just offensive in general.
Well, we want to stay balanced. But we did talk about, as a staff, being more attack-oriented in the red zone, and challenging the area, especially in that area from the 20 to the 15, where you still have some room to stretch the field a little bit. So I think that's an area that we can really look at and see what's what's available, in that area. Probably, probably there's some truth to that. For the last couple of weeks we've said, that's an area that we need to improve in. And when you look at, I don't know if Mike covered all these numbers, but he gave them to me right before he did. So if you look at the number of times we've been down there, we're pretty close to where we've been the last several years in terms of getting in there. We're just not getting touchdowns, and so I'm sure that's probably a part of it, is that we're all pressing a little bit down there to try to make sure that we finish with a touchdown.
Regarding the drop passes, Matt said that part is a confidence issue.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep your confidence up?
Well, those guys work before practice on jugs, and we got special drills that we do, and we do all year long. And but it's like I think every other sport, whether or not it's golf and you're standing over a 4-foot putt and you hadn't missed one in 3 tournaments, you have more confidence. And all of a sudden you miss one, and then the next one you stand over, you're all right, I missed the last one. So I think that's a part of it. It's just something you got to really concentrate and make sure that you're looking the ball in.
How does that affect Garrett?
I don't think it affects quarterbacks. We talked yesterday. Obviously, there's other times guys are open and we don't get to them or whatever. So I mean, it's part of the game, and it always will be part of the game. It's just something that. We have to focus on and do a better job.
Coach, I know you guys are just trying to win games right now and do whatever you can to win the next game. Long-term wise, where do you think the offense will go from what's happened this season into the following season? You guys draw that?
Well, one thing that I think we're finding as we have gotten deeper is that Garrett can make plays with his feet, and I don't know why. I told him yesterday, it looks like Ichabod Crane, but the first guy doesn't ever tackle him. And, he had 2 explosive runs the other day. He had a zone read for 25, had a scramble on a touchdown for 20. And so, he can make plays with his feet. Having said that, we will not become a team that features the zone read, but we have learned that we can count on him to make some plays with his feet, and that's huge in today's game, especially on 3rd down with the way people are matching routes and things like that. It allows you to pick up a fresh set of downs, and then we'll sit down at the end and evaluate and see which way we need to go in terms of 1-back, 2-back combination of those things.
There's so much conversation about, it may just be us talking half the time, about is it a pro style, is it a spread, is it pass first? You guys worry about that? I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter? You get to have a label on who you are, or is that not something you're real worried about?
I'm not real worried about it. The very first time I ever talked to the Texas offense in '98, I said, there's going to be times that we're going to need to throw it a lot, and we want to be proficient enough to do that. There's going to be times that we're going to have to run it a lot, and we want to be proficient enough to do that. And at the end of the year, we should have some kind of balance, and that's where we've been able to hang. I mean, even with Vince through Colt, two kind of extremes, we've been able to hang somewhere close to the 50-50 run pass, and that's what we would continue to like to be, a team that could beat you either way.
In terms of where you are right now at 4-4, have you ever been this deep into the season and not really had a go-to type of guy? In the past, obviously, you've got plenty of guys that can make plays and that you can count on. It doesn't feel like right now this offense has one player that they can say, okay, this is who we count on. How do you create that if it's maybe not there?
Well, you don't. It's a little bit like chicken and egg. You don't, ordain somebody that he's going to be the go-to guy that, that you're going to really work to try to get open. I see improvement, and I thought our slot position, which would be Mike and John, that has always been a huge part of what we've done. And that position played pretty well the other night. We got a lot of plays out of that position, and it's just when you can get a go-to guy, then everybody else gets better because the concentration goes to that guy with doubles and brackets and things like that. Everybody else gets one-on-one. In some cases, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's an important thing. And right now we don't have that one guy. But we did talk in August. I said I did not think we would have a 100-catch receiver this year. I thought we'd have several guys that would end up with 35 to 40, and that's kind of where we're looking at.
Greg, how, as we talk about it week to week, but no tight ends, it's just tough for you guys to, I would imagine if I said I'll give you post tape for your arm, give it to me. I mean, tight ends, how do you incorporate in the offense what you've done?
Well, that's a position that we have really featured in some years with Bo and David Thomas and Jamichael. All those guys were guys that could really stretch the field, could run after the catch, and some of the those things. And those guys are usually really critical on third down, because a lot of times when defense goes to a two-safety look, you get a tight end matched up on the backer, and our tight ends are working hard, and but they're not the same kind of stretch the field guys as those three. Sometimes we can play with 4 wide receivers, and that allows us to play with a wide receiver in that spot. But obviously, you reduce the amount of runs that you can carry when you go to those sets.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.